gentlemen, honorable for educators, moderator, timekeepers, my beloved native team, and also all of the audience. Thank you for your time and the opportunity that's given to our team. Previously, let me introduce our team to you all. We are from Kristen Senior High School. My name is Windy. I am the first speaker and the reply speaker. In my left side is Amanda as the second speaker, and in my left side is I'm Tony as the third speaker. This helps believe that online learning is the best method in learning during the COVID-19 pandemic. material will be continued by my partner.
Okay, time span for the first speaker of proposition team is 8 minutes 14 seconds.
Okay, thank you for the first speaker. Next, we give time to the opposition team to introduce yourself and perform your area.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning!
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning!
Honorable to the educator, moderator, timekeeper, and our beloved proposition team. Ladies and gentlemen, today our team will deliver our argument. But first of all, I want to tell everyone that if you do not know about someone, you cannot love them. So let me introduce our team. The first speaker and also the replaced speaker from opposition team, and beside him.
I am the second speaker. My name is Yusuf Manisarifan.
And beside our second speaker,
I am as the third speaker of opposition team and my name is Natalia.
ladies and gentlemen, from these motions, we as the opposition team definitely disagree with these motions, and our team just talk about the weakness of the online learning. And I will rebate the argument from the first speaker from the opposition team. You said about we can join to other students, but you know that if we from this motion, we can say this finally, we can join to other students. So I will give the argument from the opposition team as the first speaker. The first is we know that if we still do online learning, there is still have many factors, hamper and teaching and learning activities, such as the availability of infrastructure, the unfair distribution of internet network, and minimum knowledge and skill in utilizing and managing online learning media. This was also expressed by the Minister of Education and Culture, Mr. Nadiem Makarim. He said about his concern about this condition of online learning, teaching and learning. The possibility of lost generation is really quite scary for all of us. And this expert not only by one or two children, but all of us, but all of generation. And this is expert in webinar organized by the Central Jamboree and Regional Council of Charunan on August 13, 2020. And everyone I will give the witness of online learning. The first is there is no real interaction and communications. The long distance learning and learning, we know in Indonesia is called PJJ or pembelajaran jarak jauh. There is online learning, right? There can be misinformations and there is incomplete explanation about the material. This is happen usually because unclear sound and teacher have to teach at the time that doesn't match with the time of day before doing this online learning. Because when before doing this online learning, teacher can teach the students not only for 55 minutes in Zoom and another video conference. And ladies and gentlemen, then the next is learning resources and media. We know that the main obstacle of the online learning is faced by teacher and students when carried out online learning is they don't know how to utilize it and managing the online learning media. The first is no thanks. And the first is online learning is not familiar because this is new system. And it is not easy to understand. It is not please.
As you say before, that the student they cannot organize the time to follow the online lesson.
Excuse me, but I don't say it about organized time. the unfettered generation, and it can make teaching and learning can run well. Can run well. Okay, I will present my arguments. So, oh yeah, I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, the first speaker from proposition team doesn't give the proper parameter for this motion. So I will give the parameter for this motion. So we just gonna talk about the online learning in Indonesia and the weakness of online learning. So if you say about the advantages, you are a parameter. I will present my argument. So from the survey conducted by the Federation of Indonesia Teachers Unions on 19 to
Your time is up.
on 19 to 22 December 2020, the most of the teachers, students, and even parents don't want online learning now because there is so many problems on online learning. And from KPAI Commissioner for Education Retno Lisirani said that in press meeting welcoming Child Days on July 2020 informed that many children could not access for online learning, so that many of them did not graduate from school until they dropped out from the school. And then they informed that there were still complaints showing that teachers and school remain pursuing curriculum achievement even in the middle of this pandemic. Because we know that in this circular of Minister of Education and Culture number 4 of 2020, it states that during online learning, teachers and school not pursue curriculum achievement during limited time, facilities and others, and the environment which can become obstacle during this pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, the conclusion that I can give for today's debate is online learning still have many problems to do, but we have to, and we can just do online learning because we still have many problems. Ladies and gentlemen, the data and argument that I give for today's debate as the first speaker are very reliable, reasonable, and trustworthy for all of us because I use data with the valid data. And at last, I want to say that the enjoyment of the most enjoyable. I'm the first speaker from our proposition.
Thank you, your time is up.
For this debate, and I believe that our argument better than yours. Thank you.
Okay.
Time span is 8 minutes 11 seconds.
Okay, next time, let's just give to the second speaker from the proposition team to deliver your argument. Time is yours.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the opportunity that's given to me. I'm standing here as the second speaker, and I would like to continue what my friends say to support our position as the affirmative team from the motion. This house believes that online learning is the best method in learning during this COVID-19 pandemic. So, ladies and gentlemen, before I explain my material to you all, I want to say that I really disagree with my first speaker as the opposite team. He said that with the online learning, the many of the students feel unfamiliar with this online learning because the online learning is the new things or new system from the government. But I think that before they don't unfamiliar with this online learning, but now they must familiar because I strongly believe that during this pandemic, better we use the online learning because the health of the students carry more safety in this time. So
So I wanted to give a QI. And you said that online learning use technology and also use internet. And we know that online learning use internet quota. So how about students have a low economy to get internet quota? And this like us low economic students who live in the remote areas. And also what kind of government support for them, or they're just
Okay, I think that your statement is true, but as we know that the government already prepared the free quota for all of the students and teachers to start to still follow the teaching and learning process. So I think that we don't worry about the quota.
But how about our friends who live in remote areas and they have a low economy?
Okay, talking about the low economy, I think that we already know that the government give the free quota of the students and if the government we should worry about the students low economically because it is the responsible for the parents to support the students for the teaching and learning process. So I will continue. But not all of us here, as the teacher and also as the students, use the IT to access, for example, Google Forms or Zoom meeting. So I think that with this online learning can improve the students and teacher knowledge about IT. Not only that, but if the students use online learning, they can start the trick or quick trick to finish their essays given by the teacher, because we know that sometimes the material given by the teacher it is limited. So if the material given by the teacher is limited, they can use the Google Search or YouTube to search the tips or quick trick to finish their essay. And for the teacher, they can use the ITE to try make the teaching and learning process more fun. For example, they can feel learning module, video, more color or something like that. So the students cannot feel bored in follow the teaching and learning process. And the next point is the students can learn independently. Ladies and gentlemen, why I say that with online learning, the students can learn independently. Yes, please.
How about students who have and the basic character, they don't have a responsibility or independent character?
Can you repeat again?
Thank you. Please more pay attention to our UI. That we say that how about students who have the character about responsibility character, or the like you said independence character. That
I am for your wife. You can answer the question and then continue with your argument.
Okay, I will answer your POI in the next matter. The students can learn independently. Why I say that with online learning, the students can learn independently because as we know that if we compare with the face-to-face learning or the other method, the students and teacher must still meet together and classroom, I think that the students can feel freedom, or they can feel free in their classroom. So I think that it is bad for the students, and I think that better we use the online learning, because online learning is the best method during this pandemic time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Time spent is 8 minutes 10 seconds.
Okay, next it is time to the second speaker from opposition team to give your argument.
Thank you for the time that you've given to us. It is such a big honor for us to deliver our argument. Before we deliver our argument, we would like to appreciate how the second speaker from proposition team delivered their argument. But unfortunately, we as the opposition team would like to say that we are disagreeing what you said before. The first one is you don't give the proof that government support the low economic student who live in the rural areas or remote areas. And you must know that online learning is not too effective. In teaching in order to make a student understand about the lesson. And there's so many weaknesses and problems that students must facing in this online learning. So we as the opposition team would like to say that we are agree with our team argument, and we were just talking about the weakness and the weakness of online learning. So this is our information. We got every each of side that we can reach and the experience that you must do before. The data is taken from the Temple of Law Education from head of DKI Jakarta Education Agency, Nadia and discussion, and on Wednesday, September 2020, and Glitz.com ID, and we'll make it short by Maria Alia 5 February 2021. The first one is there's no real interaction or physical interaction between a teacher and the students, and there must be a miscommunication. So, based on Kompasiana.com and the Media Indonesia.com say the online learning system proves that there is no real interaction or physical interaction between teacher and student. Of course, this is can eliminate our natural and closeness communication process between teacher and students, and especially with regard to the process of delivering material. And teacher, yes, please.
As you say before about the data, I think that can you give the evidence for your data in the real life?
We ask the student to feel that because we can physically. Do you understand physical interaction between student and the teacher? This is the real. This is the real that happens in our real life. That online we can touch or contact with our study teacher or something like that, or physical interaction, like interaction like make a interaction like how to deliver their argument our teacher.
Okay. In our case, talking about the interaction, I think that the students and the teacher or the other students can interact with the online learning.
Okay, thank you. I see voice. So I will continue with my material. And when we just talk about next to the miscommunication, when the teacher delivers the lesson, there must be errors in receiving and discussing and information. This means that the information comes by the teacher, not necessarily and discussed by the students. As it may due to unclear enforcement incomplete construction on a bad internet connection. And the second is students can control themselves to follow the lessons. Based upon SunEducation.com, say that online learning students can control themselves if their parents not supervise them, and their son or daughter, even teacher can supervise.
But as you know, that we are in the pandemic, we are in the modern era. The
pandemic COVID-19. Some school implement online learning. Some school implement online learning. So every teacher or student must have the internet access. It's true. And so if you want to get the internet access engaged also also the gadget, students have to pay that. So that factor make a low economy have to work to pay all of the stuff. And it helps in order to help family economics. It can be students have to losing their time to study, and because they have to work and or the school not allow them to attend online learning, and so students can have to drop out from the school. So the drop out cases increase on because of students have to work in 2021, more increase in this pandemic, especially on online learning system. It's said by General KPI Commissioner Retno Lipsiansari, and lecture from IPB, on say that children will be the victim of domestic violence and child violence by the parents if they not work. And this kind of cases you will find that on Tirto ID of 2020 and 2020 that child violation is Nusa Tenggara is about 63%, and all of them is getting children violation because of the low economy and have the low education support facilities to learn. And basically, tribunews.com that Commissioner Trafficking in the KPI Arnadi Soliha say that Indonesian children workers are more interested in this pandemic because they have to work because the economy and social factor that it can be lack of economic income and the increased risk of harm within the internet. So we, as the opposition team, would like to say that we are still standing with our argument and we can thank you.
Okay, the second speaker spent 8 minutes 13 seconds.
Okay, time is given to the third speaker from proposition team to deliver your argument. Time is yours.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the time that's given to me as the third speaker, and I would like to continue what my friends say to support our position. As the affirmative team from the motion is this house believe that online learning is the best learning method during this pandemic COVID-19. Well, ladies and gentlemen, before I start my material, I want to say that I really disagree with my beloved opposition team about to get their children to still learning and spending time, so they can have responsibility to their children to give the some that they can feel can their learning still running. Okay, next. So the government is used various methods that can be used to support the teaching and learning process. Based on our motion today, that is about online learning is the best method of. As we know that in online learning system without directly with the teacher and other students, but through online, we are using internet network such as mobile phone, laptop, and others. We are please. Yes.
Okay, so when we do online learning, we just do everything by virtual. So how about another subject like sport? It means in Indonesia like PJOK. Then it's enough if we just learn the theory but not do practice. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. As we know that we are in the pandemic time, so we don't interact that with the teacher and others. So I get the point. In sport learning or sport subject, I think that the teacher can give assignment or make students make video learning so they can still improve their creativity or teaching and learning process. Okay, next one. So ladies and gentlemen, even though the students are at home, but they still take part in learning. It means that they still follow this online learning system. And the online learning system, I think that this is better for the student. Why? Because the student has opportunity to try the new things and to try the new policies by the government. So, and not only that, but the student will be brave or will be coached to try the new things this online learning system. Well, the second point is help maintain disciplinary behavior. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we know that we are in the pandemic time, so we don't have opportunity to interact with their teacher at school. So we must do our activity teaching and learning at home. So ladies and gentlemen, to support our ability still increase, we do the online learning system because in online learning system can help maintain disciplinary behavior. Why? Because in online learning system also give opportunity for the students to keep in good behavior. Why? Please. Yes, please.
How about students that they don't care about the like our second speaker said that? How about students don't care for study? Like they don't think it's their responsibility to study in this pandemic because not anyone can control them when they study at home.
I think that your statement is true, but I don't think so. Because as we know that we are in the pandemic time, so not all the students have a thing to how they still
Your time is up.
they can follow this online learning system to do the teaching and learning process although they at home. Well, I will continue. Talking about the good behavior. Ladies and gentlemen, as we know that we must do our teaching and learning process at home. It means that the students don't have opportunity to interact with other students. So, when we compare with the online face-to-face learning, the students meet directly with their other students. So sometimes their friends can invite them to do the bad things or not important in their life. So ladies and gentlemen, I think this is the end of the material and I really agree with this motion today.
Okay.
Thank you.
The speakers can 8 minutes 12 seconds.
Okay, and then for the third speaker from opposition team, time is yours.
Okay, thank you for the time that you have me. The first of all, I want to appreciate how the third speaker delivered their argument before. But I want to declare that we still stand with the motion today that online learning is not the best way to learning during the COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you very much. And then for the first speaker from opposition team, you said that online learning needs technology, but how about our friends don't have the same facilities for still studying situation? So if
to us. I'm the replay speaker from opposition teams. Will give my job. So, ladies and gentlemen, the member of this house, we as the opposition team definitely disagree with these motions, and I will give the weakness of online learning. The first is there is no real interaction and communication. Because we know that with online learning, teachers and students can meet in person, and there is no real interaction that we need it. Because we are human, we need that. And the next is differences of media and facilities. Because we know that not every student, not every teacher have the media and facilities to carry out them in the online learning. And next is so many assignments, because in the Circular of Minister Education and Culture, number 5, 2020, it says that teachers and schools don't have to give so many assignments for students, and it can make students more stressed and tired, like the third speaker said. And we know that in online learning, we just know, and we don't know about the violence in the home. The violence in the home is we just in the screen, and the teacher didn't know how about the students in the home.
Yes.
And next is students can control themselves, because teachers is not with them, and they just can open in another website that now makes sense with the online teaching and learning, like Indonesia we call film porn. We know that because we just in this gadget we can open anything, and no anybody can control us. Maybe just some parents cannot control their teacher, but there are still parents that can control their child. And ladies and gentlemen, I will give the weakness of the proposition teams. The first speaker said about for students who did not have gadget, they can join to other students. But we know that from this motion, in this panel, we can join to other students. And you don't answer my POI, because this is debate. You have to answer my POI. And the most, I want to tell everyone that the proposition team don't give the parameter, and their argument out of our parameter, because we just talk about teaching in Indonesia, and they just talk about the weakness of online learning, but they talk about the advantages of online learning. And the second speaker don't answer the second speaker of our team, Joel. And then the second speaker don't give any data about the governments to help students with a low economy. Because this is debate, we have to talk with the data. In this era, you just can't talk about the empty argument. You have to give data, a valid data, so we can trust them. And the next is, ladies and gentlemen, our argument and data, the argument team who are team give for today's debates, are not just empty argument, but with the valid data we give for today's debates. And everyone, I want to tell that our argument is more better than proposition teams. And we are paying attention not only for today, but the future of Indonesia. And last, I want to tell everyone that thank you very much for your attention.
Well, thank you for the time that's given to me. Ladies and gentlemen, we are affirmative team, and we are absolutely agree with this motion about this house belief that online learning is the best
minute